Before I begin, I want to make a few things clear. Firstly, this will be a quick, low-effort video whilst I'm still working on a slightly larger video. Secondly, I've been playing this game since late 2022, just before they added Streets of Tarkov, so I am not an OG player. Thirdly, I have about 900 hours in this game, which to most Tarkov players isn't a lot, but I think it's enough to know a thing or two about the game and its many problems. And lastly, I am a normal edition user. I never did or never intended to buy the EOD edition, and especially not the Unheard edition. And so about it, the new Unheard edition. It's a lot, and it seems to be what might be the breaking point for the community, myself included. But before I get into it, I want to go back just a bit more than a year, in late February 2023, because that's when suddenly a huge video dropped exposing just how bad the cheating situation was. The whole situation made me, and probably many others, look to SPT Tarkov. SPT Tarkov, which stands for Single Player Tarkov, is, or maybe when this video releases, was a mod made to make the game single player with even custom AI to act as PMCs so that you could do all the tasks and quests and progress. They also allowed you to add additional mods, and the only way you could play this was if you already had bought normal Tarkov, so they did not in any single way steal money from BSG and only benefited the community, who for several valid reasons wanted to play it SPT Tarkov, including the cheaters and the many technical problems that the game to this day still has. Like, I have a pretty alright computer, and I still, on all the settings low, I still struggle a lot to play Streets of Tarkov, despite their so-called technical fixes that they claim to have implemented, which in my case sometimes makes it worse. The response they gave was that they were against it. They said it was illegal and that if you used it, you would get banned from the game. Fast forward to the end of the year, and BSG seemed to be on the right path. They had supposedly banned many cheaters, and from my own personal experience, which could be much different from yours, I did start to encounter less and less cheaters, and with the new wipe they added and fixed many things that we the community had wanted or complained about, with the two highlights being vaulting and the much better and more realistic and more fun recoil changes. Throughout this year, some things started happening. They started selling the option for you to buy more slots in your stash for money. Now this was a bit controversial, but I did not mind it that much because you always could buy more spaces with all the different editions. And side note, when it comes to the topic of editions, I personally always found it to be pay to win. Like, I honestly never got how now it is pay to win, but before it was all good, no pay to win. And if you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your reasons for not seeing it as pay to win before. Anyways, Battlestate games also created other microtransactions in the form of PMC clothing, and the prices on these ones, whilst being better than many other games like Call of Duty, still was very pricey, considering that many other players had already purchased the EOD edition, which cost over $100, and it all led up to the 25th of April, where they announced a new edition for the game. First of all, this edition would cost over 250 euros. 250! Like, Ubisoft is in deeply hot water for making the most expensive edition of the Star Wars game cost $130. This shit, if you include the base price of the game, is more than twice as expensive. So then the question is, what do you get? Well, first of all, this edition is even more pay to win, with bigger pockets for your PMC whilst you raid, increased fence standing, better mail retention, leveled up skills in the beginning, and more stuff like unique devices to help you. Plus the usual better loot and stash. But the main thing for someone who really enjoys co-op games like Ready or Not and GTFO is that they also introduced full PvE co-op with progression like SPT, but now with friends. And it's locked behind the 250 plus euro paywall. So SPT will probably in the near future be forced to stop existing cause they now compete with Tarkov's new edition. But what might be the absolutely most fucked up part is when it comes to the EOD edition. The whole point of the EOD was to get all the future DLCs and to be the most expensive edition of the game. So all who supported BSG for 7 years and bought it just got fucked. The funny thing is that Nikita 2 months before said that EOD users would get access to co-op, and there's just so more shady things, but I don't really have the anger or energy for it because I'm just sad than anything else. I'll link you to Upper Echelon's video, who gets a bit more into detail, and it's really fucked what they did. And they basically scammed the EOD users, which I'm surprised if this is legal. Like, I don't think it will get to court and that, but it should be illegal at least. So what now? Well, the whole community and all streamers, etc. is up in flames, with everyone coming together, with even the mods on Reddit revolting, which, then you absolutely fucked up. For me, I'll probably continue playing this game, because as I'm writing this, there just isn't a game to replace it for me. The really sad part is that if you remove all the addition bullshit and microtransactions and technical problems, it is a unique, fun and cool hardcore tactical shooter that does so many things so well. I'll end this short video by saying this: I will for now continue playing the game, but as time goes on, another game gets closer, and if the developers behind it handle it well, and it is a court game, then I guess we will see if I and the community ever escape from Tarkov again.